Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the English podcast Conversation for Beginners. I'm Jason, your host for today's episode, and I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, Julia. How's it going, Julia?
Hi, Jason. Hi, everyone. I'm doing great, and I'm so excited to be here. Today's topic is such a useful one, especially for those who might be struggling to find a language partner or don't have the chance to practice with others regularly.
Exactly. Today, we're going to dive into a really common question we get from beginner English learners. How can I practice speaking English if I don't have a partner? Many people think that to improve speaking skills, you absolutely need someone else to practice with. But that's not necessarily true, is it?
Not at all. While practicing with a partner can definitely help, there are so many ways to practice and improve your speaking skills on your own. And the best part? Many of these techniques are easy to do and can fit into your daily routine, no matter where you are. So, if you're a beginner or feeling shy about speaking in English with others, you're in the right place.
Absolutely. Today, we're going to cover a variety of solo practice techniques that you can use to improve your English speaking skills on your own. And by practicing these methods, you can actually build a solid foundation in English before you even start speaking with others. So, Julia, why do you think it's important to practice speaking English, even if you're doing it alone?
Great question, Jason. Practicing alone is not only a great way to build confidence, but also to develop a sense of how English sounds and flows. When you practice regularly, you train your brain to think in English and become comfortable forming sentences. This way, when you eventually speak with someone, you'll feel more prepared and natural.
That's so true. Plus, practicing alone lets you go at your own pace. You can take your time, focus on areas you want to improve, and repeat exercises as much as you need to. And for many beginners, it can be a lot less intimidating than trying to speak in front of someone else right away.
Exactly, Jason. And just think about it. By practicing on your own, you're creating an environment where you can learn and experiment with English without the pressure of someone listening or judging. You can try different expressions, play with your pronunciation, and make mistakes without feeling embarrassed.
That's such an important point, Julia. Making mistakes is part of learning, and when you're practicing by yourself, those mistakes are just steps toward improvement. So if you're listening and you're worried about making mistakes, don't be. Every mistake is a chance to learn something new.
Well said, Jason. So today we'll go over several techniques that make practicing English alone not only effective, but also fun. Whether it's through shadowing, recording yourself, talking to yourself, or using resources like language apps, we've got a range of methods to help you become more confident and fluent over time.
And remember, these techniques don't require any special equipment. All you need is your voice, a bit of time, and a willingness to try. By the end of this episode, we hope you'll feel motivated and ready to give these solo speaking methods a try.
Yes, and if you're already excited about learning new ways to practice, stick around because we're about to dive into our first technique right after this. So grab a notebook, get comfortable, and let's get started on this journey to practicing English speaking, solo style.
All right, let's dive into our first technique. One of my favorites, the shadowing technique. Julia, do you want to explain what shadowing is?
Absolutely, Jason. So, shadowing is a technique where you listen to a native English speaker, like in a podcast, video, or even a movie scene, and then try to repeat what they say right after them, almost like an echo. You're basically following along with their pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation as closely as possible.
Right, and it's really effective for improving how natural your English sounds. The goal isn't necessarily to understand every word right away, but to get a feel for how English is spoken. Julia, any tips for beginners who might find it a bit fast?
Great question. Yes, for beginners, it's helpful to start with short, simple sentences at a slower pace. You can even try slowing down the audio slightly. Many platforms like YouTube or podcast apps allow you to adjust the speed. Start at, say, 0.75x speed and work your way up as you get more comfortable.
Perfect. And shadowing also helps train your listening skills and pronunciation at the same time, which is a big advantage. It's almost like having a mini conversation, But instead of thinking of what to say, you're focusing on how to say it.
Exactly. And since you're repeating after a native speaker, you're learning the natural flow of English, which can help make your speaking sound less robotic. Another tip is to practice with content that matches your interests. If you enjoy cooking, try shadowing cooking shows or recipes. If you like travel, find a travel vlog to shadow.
That's a great idea, Julia. Practicing with something you enjoy keeps it interesting, and you're more likely to stick with it. And for anyone listening, remember that you don't have to be perfect. The point is to keep practicing and getting more comfortable with how English sounds.
Definitely. And as you practice, you'll notice improvements in your pronunciation and confidence. Plus, shadowing is something you can do anywhere, even if it's just a few minutes a day.
Absolutely. So, grab a video or podcast you enjoy and give shadowing a try. It's a simple but powerful way to level up your speaking skills. Let's move on to our next technique, recording yourself. This is a powerful method for building confidence and improving your speaking skills. Julia, could you explain why recording yourself can be so effective?
Of course, Jason. When you record yourself speaking in English, you get a chance to hear exactly how you sound. It's like getting a snapshot of your pronunciation, intonation, and fluency. By listening back, you can notice areas to improve, like certain sounds you struggle with or words that don't come out as smoothly as you'd like.
Exactly, and when you hear your own voice, you might notice things you don't catch while you're speaking, like if you're pausing too much or saying frequently. It's a great way to become more self-aware and track your progress over time.
Right, and to keep it interesting, you can record yourself talking about different topics. Start with simple things, like describing your daily routine or your favorite hobby. As you get more comfortable, try talking about a recent movie you watched or an article you read. This also helps expand your vocabulary.
That's a great tip. Also, you don't need fancy equipment. Just use your phone or a simple recording app. And don't worry about making mistakes. The point is to practice and learn from what you hear.
Exactly, Jason. And one thing I'd recommend is to try recording the same topic multiple times. You'll notice improvements in your pronunciation and fluency each time, and that's incredibly motivating. It's like seeing yourself progress step by step.
Definitely. So for everyone listening, give this a try. Start with just a minute or two of recording. And remember, the goal isn't to sound perfect. It's to get comfortable and learn from each recording.
Well said, Jason. So grab your phone, hit record, and watch your English speaking skills grow.
All right. Let's talk about a fun and effective technique, talking to yourself. This might sound a bit unusual, but it's a fantastic way to practice English when you're on your own. Julia, want to explain how it works?
Sure, Jason. Talking to yourself in English is like having mini conversations with yourself throughout the day. You can talk about what you're doing, like, I'm making breakfast now, or describe what you see around you. It's a great way to think in English and build fluency without any pressure.
Exactly. And what's great is that you can do this anywhere. Whether you're at home, in the car, or taking a walk, it helps you get used to forming sentences quickly, which is essential for fluency.
Yes, and it's also a fantastic way to practice new vocabulary. Let's say you're learning words related to cooking. While you're making dinner, you can describe each step in English. Now I'm chopping onions, I'm adding salt, and so on. This makes learning more natural and memorable.
That's a great example, Julia. And for beginners who might feel shy, remember that no one else has to hear you. You're just building confidence and practicing forming sentences.
Exactly. And another tip is to narrate your thoughts. If you're planning your day, say it out loud in English. Today I need to finish my assignment and then go to the store. This way, you're constantly using English and training your mind to think in the language.
Great idea. Talking to yourself also helps reduce translation time because you're practicing thinking directly in English. The more you do it, the quicker and more natural it becomes.
Absolutely. So, start with small phrases and build up. It may feel strange at first, but it's one of the easiest ways to make English part of your daily life.
Now let's move on to a technique that uses technology. Practicing English with online resources. There are so many great options out there. Julia, what's your favorite way to use online tools for solo practice?
I love using language learning apps, Jason. Apps like Duolingo, Babbel, and HelloTalk are great because they offer interactive exercises and quizzes to help you build vocabulary and improve grammar. Some even have speaking exercises, so you get to practice pronunciation.
Absolutely, and besides apps, there are tons of free videos and podcasts available. You can listen to English content on YouTube or Spotify about topics that interest you, like travel, cooking, or personal development. It's a great way to hear native speakers and pick up new phrases.
Yes, and if you want to be more active in your learning, you can pause the video or podcast, repeat what you heard, or even take notes. That way, you're not just passively listening, you're practicing speaking and thinking in English too.
Great point, Julia. Another useful resource is language exchange sites like Italki or Tandem, where you can connect with native speakers. Even if you just use it for text practice, it helps build confidence in expressing yourself.
Right. And there are also English learning communities and forums like Reddit's R English Learning, where you can ask questions and engage with others. Practicing writing is valuable too, and these communities can help you feel supported.
So true, and remember, with online resources, it's important to use them actively. Try to speak along with videos, join discussions, or record yourself talking about what you've learned.
Exactly, Jason. Online resources make it easy to practice anytime, so take advantage of them.
Let's dive into our final technique for today, reading aloud. This is such a simple yet powerful way to practice speaking English on your own. Julia, do you want to explain how reading aloud can help?
Absolutely, Jason. When you read aloud, you're practicing pronunciation, fluency, and even your listening skills. It gives you a chance to focus on how each word sounds and to experiment with different tones. Plus, you get to hear yourself speaking English, which builds confidence.
Exactly. And the great thing about reading aloud is that it doesn't require anyone else. You can pick any material you like, maybe a short story, a news article, or even your favorite book in English. The key is to choose something that matches your level so you can read smoothly.
Yes, and if you're new to reading aloud, you can start with children's books or beginner-level texts. They usually have simpler vocabulary and shorter sentences, which makes it easier to read confidently and focus on pronunciation.
Great tip. And another idea is to record yourself while reading. This lets you listen back and notice any areas for improvement, like certain sounds that need work or where you might be reading too quickly.
That's a great strategy, Jason. Also, reading aloud helps you get used to the natural flow of English sentences, which can improve your overall fluency. It's almost like practicing for a speech or presentation, but without the pressure.
Exactly, Julia. And for those who want to challenge themselves, try reading a dialogue from a play or a script. It's a fun way to practice different voices and emotions, which can help with conversational skills.
Absolutely. So, find something you enjoy reading, grab a quiet spot, and give it a try. You'll be amazed at how much this simple practice can improve your English.
And that brings us to the end of today's episode. We've covered a lot of effective solo techniques that can help you practice English speaking on your own. Just to recap, we talked about the shadowing technique, recording yourself, talking to yourself, using online resources, and of course, reading aloud.
That's right. Each of these techniques is designed to help you build confidence, improve pronunciation, and get comfortable thinking in English, even without a partner. The best part is that they're all flexible, so you can practice whenever and wherever works best for you.
Exactly, Julia. And remember, practice is key. The more you use these techniques, the easier speaking English will feel. Start small, be consistent, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. They're all part of the learning process.
Absolutely. So, here's our call to action for you. Choose one of these techniques and try it out today. Whether it's recording yourself, shadowing a video, or reading aloud, take that first step. And as you progress, mix in more techniques to keep things interesting.
And if you found this episode helpful, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more English learning tips. We have new episodes coming every week to support you on your journey to fluency.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Keep practicing, stay motivated, and remember, you're not alone in this journey. We're here to help you every step of the way.
Sir, why is it has here instead of have?
Has is for singular subjects.
But people is plural, right?
Yes, but what's the full subject of the sentence?
Each of the people is each the subject.
Exactly, each is singular, so we use has.
So even if it's each of the students, it still has.
Correct, each focuses on individuals separately.
But students is plural.
True, but each ignores that and treats them one by one.
English is sneaky.
I prefer interesting.
But wait, what about all of the people?
Good. All is plural, so we use have.
So all of the students have, but each of the students has.
Perfect.
My brain is overheating.
That means you're thinking.
Or malfunctioning.
Both are possible.
So what about none of the students?
Good question. It depends.
Wait, depends on what?
On whether you mean none as singular or plural.
How do I know that?
If you're thinking of none as not a single one, use singular. None of the students has finished.
And if I think of it as not any of them?
Then you can use plural. None of the students have finished.
English is giving me trust issues.
Welcome to the club.
Okay, what about a number of?
Plural. A number of students have arrived.
But the number of?
Singular. The number of students has increased.
Wait, why? Both have number in them.
Yes, but in a number of, the focus is on students. In the number of, the focus is on number.
That's so sneaky.
You said that already.
Because it keeps being true.
Fair enough.
Okay, last question, more than one student.
Singular.
What? But more than one means multiple.
Yes, but grammatically, it acts like one, so more than one student has arrived.
This is evil.
It's logic.
It's evil logic.
Maybe?
Maybe.
Okay. Fine. Yes.
Finally, we agree on something.